what do you think about the SpaceX IPO? Because that's now down, I believe, over 40% from its peak. At what price do you buy SpaceX?
If you look at everything I said about SpaceX, you can tell I was trying to be really careful with my words because so many retail investors were so hyped on SpaceX. I wanted to kind of warn them, but I didn't want to be the guy to poop on the party, right? And SpaceX did so well when it IPO'd.
Yeah.
I was really happy for all these people that made money. But the truth is, as I said before, anyone with any amount of money, institutions or high net worth, has been pitched SpaceX 100 times in the 12 to 18 months before that IPO. So anyone with real money had the ability to invest in SpaceX at hundreds of billions of dollars. And virtually nothing has changed between them then and now. So I think it's insane seeing SpaceX at $1.5 trillion. If you love it at $1.5 trillion and you have money to invest, you should have been investing aggressively at 3, 4, 500 billion.
Yeah,
so I don't understand. It makes
you
zero
say that
sense.
about Tesla? Because a lot of people said the same thing about Tesla, that, it's overvalued, it's this and that, but it's still somehow managed to...
No, the numbers are totally different. I just risk reward on large numbers here. I mean, the numbers aren't there. The numbers are only there for SpaceX under theoreticals that are years out, which is why I said, if you want to invest in SpaceX and the story continues to get better and better, it's possible with a blue sky company like that people will continue to value it for what they might build 10 years from now. And if you want to be part of that game, then go ahead and be part of that. It's not something I'm interested in. For me, that's a highly speculative game based on something that might or might never materialize. When I look at SpaceX's actual business, I love it. And that's why I invested in it at $30 billion. Okay. I loved what they were doing with satellites. And I was like, the satellite business is going to be worth more than $30 billion. I see it at 1.6 trillion today, even after the move down. You said it was 1.6 trillion. Is that right?
1.6 today after being down 40%.
I'm like, whatever people are seeing in SpaceX is something more than I'm able to see. So I only invest in companies when I see something that others don't. It's the opposite with SpaceX. With SpaceX, others see something in SpaceX that I don't, which is totally fine. It's just not right for me. So there's no world in which SpaceX becomes an investment in my portfolio unless something radically changes. Radically.
Even if it does follow your thesis, which is they have distribution and they have a moat, would you agree with that?
They have distribution. They have a moat. Absolutely.
The only difference is that there's no practical use case for exactly that. That is assuming that we can't come up with an alternative solution that, outside of space or on Earth that can do what SpaceX is trying to do with AI. Is that the main?
People are valuing SpaceX based on the best of all best case scenarios, right? That's what I'm saying.
So it's just a math number.
I just don't.
Or a math problem.
It's not even a math problem. It's just the people that are invested in SpaceX are invested in it because they believe in these pie in the sky goals, which is awesome. I hope they hit them. It's just I don't believe in them, right? I haven't seen proof that I think we're highly likely to hit that. And even if we were, it wouldn't matter to me because it's already being valued, assuming that happens, right? So I'm going to invest in something where I see something big that is likely to happen, where the rest of the world doesn't see it. And I have conviction it will happen. So it's the polar opposite of how I invest.
It also seems like right now, some companies could report really good earnings, and then immediately afterwards, the stock still falls 10%.
Expectations, just expectations.
So people have even higher expectations than good earnings. They want good earnings and something else.
Yeah. And by the way, it's short-term expectations are different right, from long-term expectations. I'm not super concerned with what happens month to month, quarter to quarter in the AI sector. For me, this is a multi-year trade, right? And as long as nothing happens, by the way, this is another thing that really upsets me about modern day investors. You'll notice one thing about me is if I see something that goes against my thesis, I will immediately exit my trade and sometimes take the opposite side of that trade. So if something actually does happen, right, here with AI or compute that really messes with the economics, I will be out of that AI trade in an instant. So I'm constantly looking for that devil's advocate take, and I'm actually very open to saying, well, what I thought was going to happen is not playing out, and I need to completely reverse the way I'm thinking about this sector. Investors don't think like that, guys. If you guys read X, I have never seen a time when people are so loyal to their stocks, so loyal to these companies. I just don't understand it. Like, I don't get it at all. The companies don't care about you. The stocks don't care about you. Why do you have a personal relationship with a stock? It's fucking drives me nuts, because when you start to see evidence to the contrarian side of the person's thesis, they refuse to believe it, and they're constantly trying to fight it. I don't fight it. I welcome it. Like, show me where I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will thank you, because you just helped me reverse out of a trade where I was wrong. It's maybe the biggest issue facing investors today. Like, guys, this is so important to like nail through investors' head. Stop it. Stop having a personal relate. You're not dating your stock. You're not married to your stock. Just be objective and be willing to say that the information has changed. You learned something new. The world has changed. There's something new that shifted. Something came out of China. I don't know. Like, you got to reevaluate everything. And even though if you've been talking about this stock as the greatest long ever for a year and a half, tomorrow you might need to come out and say, dude, things are different now. I just exited and I might even be shorting that stock. Are you willing to do that? You have to ask yourself, are you actually willing to do that? Run that scenario in your head. Because I guarantee you most investors would they can't get the words out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't do it.
What in your life has changed since this past month of trading?
I'm having the best time in my life with other investors. I just am having so much fun, guys. Even though it's been a roller coaster and the last few weeks were rough before this last week, dude, I've said this so many times, like, the community keeps getting larger and larger, and people are learning. And like, for every one person that has a negative comment, there's like 50 that are like, dude, this is the greatest ever. Like, that are having so much fun investing and researching and hot takes. And like, the bottom line is, if you're just investing, you're winning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all know that, right? Like, you might beat the S&P or not beat the S&P. You might spend way too much time doing research to actually not outperform the S&P. It doesn't matter. Because if that's what actually gets you to get excited about and engage with the world of investing, the mere fact that now you're going to be throwing more of your money into investing instead of like buying stuff means you're winning. Because what happens generally, there's no absolutes, right? But what happens generally when you have money in capital markets, you make money. It's just factual. Like, obviously you can do stupid stuff. You can get levered out. People should be doing things responsibly. And we teach a lot of that, right? On my channel. You just got to get in the game of investing, dude. Like, and more people are investing today than ever, and by a lot. And it's growing by the day. And I freaking love it. I love it now that I have to take hours sometimes to go through comments on a single thread to just reply to people. I love it. This world is getting that big, and that I'm part of making this world bigger every day with my hot takes, whether you love them or hate them.
What are some of the best ways that you get information asymmetry outside of what the average investor thinks is what they should be studying, like earnings reports or interviews?
Now, really quick, every business is asking themselves the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are limitless, but guessing is too risky, and sitting on the sidelines is not an option, because one thing is certain. If you're not doing it, your competitors are already making their move.
And that's where our sponsor NetSuite by Oracle comes in. It's the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses to manage everything from financials and inventory to commerce, HR, and CRM, all in one unified system.
When all of your data is in one place, your AI becomes a lot smarter. It doesn't just guess. it knows. NetSuite intelligently automates routine tasks, delivers real-time insights, and helps you make fast, confident decisions that actually help drive growth.
And it's not just an add-on, it's AI that's literally built right into the system that runs your business, helping you cut costs, improve accuracy, and stay ahead of the competition.
Whether your company is making millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite gives you visibility and control to keep moving forward. Honestly, if I were building a business of this size, NetSuite's the only company that I have 100% confidence in.
So if your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, get our completely free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/clips.
Again, the guide is free for you at netsuite.com/clips, netsuite.com/clips, with the link down below in the description.
What are some of the best ways that you get information asymmetry outside of what the average investor thinks is what they should be studying, like earnings reports or interviews? Like, is there a specific way that you get access to that information?
You got to go to the source. Like, you got to forget about financial media, earnings report. I mean, that stuff's all fine to understand a baseline for what people generally know about the company and what generally people care about. But you have to figure out what the marginal driver of interest and or price action is going to be for a company. And it could be one thing. Like in the case of Amazon, it was, are they converting all this CapEx into actual real returns? That was the one thing, right? So once you know what that one thing is from reading the investing reports and the earnings reports and media, you have to go away from finance to find the ground truth. So like what I mean by that is I've spent so much time the last few months actually like reading technology forums with all the people that are actually working at these companies. Like
what is a technology forum?
They're on
like
Reddit, they're all over the place. So like there's tons of them. What you want, it's on X. There are people on X who are actually a developer at company XYZ. There's millions of them. So instead of spending your time reading, investors that have good and crappy takes on the same stuff that everyone else is reading, and they're just recirculating opinions over and over again and fighting with each other, spend more time looking for This is what Leopold does, right? He hangs out with these guys. It's his world, right? It doesn't have to be your world because they all live on the internet, right? So if you're not hanging out with people that work at OAI and Anthropic and that work at the end clients that are actually instituting AI into their workflow, they will be the first people to tell you if it's making or saving their company money or not. Okay? Before it ever hits the financial press, before it ever hits an earnings statement, the guys who work at the companies and the women that work at the companies know. And there's millions of them. They're all over the internet, chat rooms, on X, making videos on YouTube, right? Like, go to the source. If you want to figure out if AI is actually a productive technology that's generating positive ROI for all the world's companies that are now spending all their money on AI, because if that's true, the AI sector is going to explode higher. If it's not true, we got a problem. The only way to get that answer is to go to the source. So that's where I spend my time. I don't spend my time listening to other investors' opinion on what Michael Burry said this morning. That's not going to do me any good, guys. I want to go to, so I basically read right now, because I'm really deep in the AI trade, obviously. I just spend a lot of time reading, sometimes obscure people that have virtually no followers, by the way. They don't have to be influential. A guy who's at a company, just name any company, like American Airlines. I don't know. American Airlines probably has hundreds to thousands of developers working on AI and stuff right now, right? They're all over the internet. Some of them are talking about how well it is or isn't working. And that exists for every company in the world right now. And we have to figure out as investors over the next few months to couple years, is the AI trade real or not? Is it deserving or not? If you could answer that question, this is the biggest moment in the history of capital markets. If you can correctly answer that question, and you know where to place your bets, and you have risk capital that you're willing to make concentrated lever bets in an account to where you fully understand that if you're wrong, you're going to get crushed. So again, understand the risk, understand your objectives, but that opportunity is out there for anyone. And I just look at other investors and I laugh because I know what they're doing with their day. I can see it. I can read what they're saying on X, and I know how they're spending their day. They are not spending their day following the same people that I follow, like searching the same keywords and reading these tech forums. Like, they're not doing that. No one's trying to get to ground truth right now. So my alpha is I am willing to do what it takes to get to ground truth. And then that will deliver the conviction that I need to place a levered, concentrated bet on who I think will benefit.